And just like that, another Skype issue with the delay of waiting for it to tell me we have started recording. Skype has been treating us very poorly today.
Yeah, Sunday. They like to take Sundays off, I guess.
I guess so. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Thrashers Paradise. We're joined with Graham. As you might have seen last year, probably around June or July, I released a video talking to him about his project, Ominouse Eclipse. Well, he's back to just talk about music, shoot the shit. We're going to talk about his other project, too, Serene Dark, and they released their debut album last year. So what was that like? Because as you were telling me, it was 4 years in the making. What was it like to finally get it out into the world?
It felt good. So a little background for any listeners that aren't familiar. So Serene Dark, we used to be called Endomise. Endomise has been around since 2005, I believe. I joined in 2015, and we decided to do a name change because the band itself had gone through so many members in different styles. We finally, I kind of was like probably the last person to join. We went through so much. There were so many changes that they decided they wanted, but now that we had a solid lineup and a solid vision of sound-wise, decided let's start fresh, new name, new album. So this debut album, even though it wasn't the first album I was with the band for, as the last album to be dropped under the name Endomise, I was there for, but this was the first album which I was part of the actual writing process, using my own composition. So it feels good. It feels like a good start. For sure. It sucks that our release has been during the COVID pandemic, so we haven't been able to play any of these songs live. And as a matter of fact, all the singles we have played, we actually haven't even rehearsed the whole album together yet. Just we all kind of learned it on our own, recorded our own parts and stuff. But we've never even actually got to play it together yet, which is kind of weird.
Wow. When do you think, I'm assuming probably not till February with the way things are going here in Ontario.
Yeah.
But when do you...
Lockdown Part 2, yeah.
Yes, Revenge of the Lockdown.
Yeah.
It's the movie sequel that never ends. Jesus.
Yeah.
But no, what has been because you really, both the single from Ominouse Eclipse and the album came out around the same time, or very close together. What has been the response from both up to now?
Both. Well, we talked about Ominouse on the first interview, and just to rehash that, it was a very different song for that band, and the response was well appreciated. It kind of seemed like a big step up. Serene Dark, same thing. Everyone really supported the name change, which was nice. And it brought in some new listeners because there's a lot of people, because Endomise had been around forever, who weren't really still checking in. They're like some people who might not have liked the older style, might not have really thought that we had a newer thing. So some people were like, oh, this album's really good, and not even realizing that we were Endomise. But yeah, we've had a very solid response. We've had a lot of help getting it out there. I'd say overall, the lyrical themes were highly praised. Our vocalist Frankie worked. The lyrics are a very strong part of the band's music, and they've been received very well as such. So I guess we're getting all the compliments we were kind of hoping for, and yeah, we're really proud of it, and it seems to be well received, which is nice.
That is excellent. Now, has there been conversations with you and your fellow Serene Dark members to release a playthrough video of any of the songs or do something like that?
Yeah, there's been lots of talk, all sorts of plans, we always want to do this or that. We have a lot of different ideas. Unfortunately, with current events, kind of hard to do anything right now. And you'll have an idea 1 month, and then 3 months later into quarantine, it's let's do something else. I think I can't really speak on behalf of the whole band right now because we haven't really been talking about it. We're working on new material for sure. Myself, I've written a song that I've been looking forward to sharing with the group. I know some of the other members have been doing a lot, and everyone's really antsy to make more music. There's been a little talk about doing with like more videos and stuff for the album. Kind of like, oh, this song was popular, maybe we should do a play for it maybe. But I think overall, we're just looking forward to getting back to the stage and making sure it's not 4 more years before our next album, and making sure we work on our writing.
Excellent. Now, these next series of questions are for you, not about the bands, just about you. We're going to get to know you a bit more, Graham.
Do it.
Now, with last year being, well, a write-off year for a lot of people, there's been surprisingly a lot of very good and solid music, I think, come out from a lot of different bands from all across the world. For you personally, what band did you get into that you never thought you would have gotten into because of COVID?
Not so much of, there hasn't been really any bands that were like, oh, I never really, like, didn't think I would get into so much. It was more of a, well, actually, surprisingly, last year, I listened to a lot less music than most years. I used to, for years, like, do, like cram, like, listen to, like, over 100 albums every year and stuff. And last year, I remember, because, I don't know if you saw, I made a Facebook post of my top 10 of the year. I even included in that post, I didn't really have a huge amount to list from. I found out I was doing a lot more, like, audiobooks and podcasting and stuff. But if I had to take a band that I wasn't listening to yet, I was familiar with, but hadn't just sat down and listened to yet, the new Ingested album last year was really blew me away. I think I put that as my number 1. So it wasn't like they weren't like a band that's like, oh, I never thought I'd like it. It was just one of those bands that I knew the name. I'm pretty sure I'd seen them live, but I just never sat down and listened to them. I heard a lot of hype for their new album, and yeah, that was easily album of the year for me. So yeah, less about like didn't think I'd listen, but more of a just haven't taken the time to do it and end up loving it. But yeah, so the new Ingested and the latest God Dethroned, that was another band I hadn't really ever listened to, and I loved their album.
Excellent. For you in 2020, what was your most proudest purchase that you were proud of making?
Proudest purchase. There's actually a few. I'm not sure which one to go with. Well, I got a new desk setup, like studio desk setup. I've been wanting to do that for a while. I actually, since we last talked, I also moved again, and I decided new house, new studio, start fresh. And it's literally just the IKEA gaming desk, but it's perfect. It's actually where we're doing this right now. You are currently sitting on my desk.
Ooh.
That was
Nice.
probably my favorite purchase. I feel like I'm missing something. Just looking around the room, kind of looking at my purchases. No, I didn't get any. Oh, sorry. No, that's a complete lie. The best thing I bought last year was my Line 6 HX Stomp, which is a modeling amp processor thing. That's what I've been using for my YouTube channel. It's been a lot better for like recording. It's just like just a really high quality amp modeling product.
Awesome. Now, aside from music, we've had a lot of free time during COVID. A lot of stuff has been closed down, so we've been forced to stay at home and do stuff that we never really thought we would be really into. For you personally, what throughout 2020 was the one thing that you enjoyed more than what you ever expected?
Just to make sure I understood the question, like, is there something I found that myself enjoying more than I normally would have before 2020?
Yeah, like a new hobby, a new TV show you never thought about giving a try, something along those lines.
Honestly, sorry that I don't really have an answer. I found I've kept fairly busy this year. If anything, I just took more meetup. I got back, like I did some more gaming this year, but that's not like a new hobby. I was just kind of getting back into. But there wasn't really anything I picked up new this year or 2020. It was more just working a lot and playing music. And if anything, I found ways to make sure I'm playing more music, because for a while, being in bands and stuff, I found myself just kind of rehearsing the stuff and not playing as much outside of rehearsals unless we had new material to learn. I started a YouTube channel where I do guitar covers, so now I've kind of found a way to force myself to learn material again. So I went from playing a few times a week and here and there to like hours every day working on my next project and stuff. But yeah, I think if anything, I didn't pick up any new hobbies. I just found a way to really increase my current hobbies and give more time to them.
Excellent. Now, as you mentioned, your YouTube channel doing guitar covers up to now, what has been your favorite guitar cover you've done?
Revocation's Cleaving Giants Device. That was a song that, specifically the guitar solo, Revocation are one of my favorite bands, mostly because their lead guitarist, Dave Davidson's an absolute monster. He's always been, I found them because he was listed on one of the websites like one of the best modern metal guitarists. So I checked him out, and his playing blew me away. And I remember the first time I heard that song, specifically the solo, it's like, and I've always wanted to do a YouTube channel. I remember it was like, whenever I do that again, that's one of the songs I'm doing. And that was the second song I did, because I was like, that was like on my to-do list. Like, I gotta learn this song at some point. But yeah, that one was my favorite. That solo was something else to learn, but I think I pulled it off pretty all right.
Down the line, what are 5 covers you would like to do within this year for your YouTube channel?
Yeah, so I had like a pretty set structure of what I wanted to do, but there's always things here and there that happen. Like Alexi Leho passed away recently. Personally, Bodum are my favorite band, so that one hit pretty hard, and so I'm definitely going to do a lot of Bodum covers this year. You know, I didn't plan on doing any in the near future. I had an old YouTube channel like that I haven't touched for like 7 years, which I did pretty much exclusively Bodum covers, and I started this channel off with one. But after that, I want to do a song from each album from Children of Bodom, so that's going to take up a lot of my year. But yeah, 5 songs I want to do. I have a whole list. Let's see. So, I want to attempt. I don't want to put it out there and then not be able to pull it off. But I want to try Remote Tumor Seeker by Archspire. That'll definitely be a hard one. I've already have like the tab and everything, and I've worked on it a little bit. But that one's an 8-string guitar song. I actually don't own an 8-string guitar yet, so I'm kind of learning what I can. So that, like, first I have to buy an 8-string guitar, so that's an investment for the future. But I definitely want to do that song. I'm gonna pop up my kind of brain burning bit, because some of the ones I really wanted to do, I've actually already done. So I've got a list. I'm just going to pop that up. I definitely want to get back to Revocation and do Opus Madness off their album Deathless. That's like one of their heavier songs. 3 more. I want to do something by Black Counter Initiate. I haven't decided what song I want to do by them. Off their Years in the Frigid Light was like my favorite song off their recent record, so might go with something like that. I'm a really big fan of their first album too, though. I might want to do Great Mistake or Wreckage of Stars or something. Probably more Rivers to Nile. I just did Circles in the Sky by Rivers to Nile. That was like one of my really wanted to do songs, but I've already got that one out of the way. And I think that's good for like off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Like those, but yeah, the Archfire, Black Iron Initiate, and Revocation for sure are on that list.
Awesome. Now, I really want that. Well, I'll ask this. Now, in Ottawa, what's there really to do right now?
The lockdown's like really strict. They're putting in all those rules. I don't know. I'm quite happy with not leaving my house though.
Yeah.
For work right now, I'm driving several hours. I got placed on a job site outside of town, and I drive an hour and 45 minutes to work one way. So my work week, I'm basically just work, and I have a few hours to myself before I sleep. So the weekend, I just like to be in my studio here, playing my guitars, playing some video games, and maybe go out for a walk to have some outdoor air. Yeah, there's not a whole lot to do right now. Everything's pretty shut down. You can go for walks. About what you can do. How about you? What's it like up where you are?
Well, here in Hamilton, because we are like an hour outside of Toronto, we're very much in one of those like stricter zones. So like it's
Thanks, Toronto.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's like I don't even like I'm okay leaving my house to go to work and back home. Like that's okay. Like I might go out for a walk, but besides that, I don't really feel the need to go anywhere. And it's okay here. Like I'm thankful that there is the option to, because I do like to ice skate, that I could book time to go ice skating. I'm thankful for that. But besides that, there's not really a whole lot to do down here, and we're just. I'm trying my best to stay sane. I can't say the same about everyone else in the area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I feel like I definitely want to hit the. We haven't quite had cold enough weather for the rinks to open up, but yeah, if that gets if things get a little more set up like that, and the restrictions don't cover it, I'll definitely be going and playing some shinny, playing some hockey, but waiting for the weather to cooperate.
Yeah. Has it been a good winter this year so far?
No, but I found last year was a really mild winter too. I think that's just kind of where we're at now. But it's only January, or we're like mid-January. I find like December is always on and off. I find January, February is when you usually get it, but
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I do got a question for you. Did they end up doing the ice surface for the Rideau Canal, or did they just not do it this year?
I haven't checked. I doubt it. Maybe not. But I think if anything, before lockdown part 2 came in, they were probably planning it because we were getting pretty open. Like before lockdown 2 hit, and like I was playing in like an ultimate frisbee league with my girlfriend in like an indoor like dome thing. So like they were letting us play sports and stuff again. So I'm guessing they might have been, but I doubt it anymore. We're really locked down because we did get a case. It's not just because of Toronto. Like we did get a case number spike, so we definitely were affected. I think just the Christmas holidays, too many people were going home to like families and spreading it. But yeah, as of right now, everything's just the past Thursday they implemented even stricter rules, like absolutely nothing type thing.
Yeah. Yeah, fun times here in Ontario right now.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot of vaccines and stuff. They're predicting that by September we'll be able to hit the stage again, which I'm dying for.
I am hoping to do that too, because as much as I do enjoy doing these online interviews, and it's been really great because I've been able to widen through the country and even the world, there's nothing like doing that in-person interaction. Just
totally.
Struggling to find a place in the venue to sit down just for 10 minutes just to talk. Like, that's the... I like how that, at the time, it's annoying, but now looking back at it, that's something I really miss. Just struggling with the band to try and figure out, okay, where do you want to sit to do this interview? No, okay, I'm cool with wherever. Are you okay? Yeah. And it's just, yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing like a podcast format?
See, everyone keeps asking me that. I keep
it just seems to be like the new thing, like for that way, like because with YouTube it's kind of hard to like, unless you have a lot of data to listen to your car, but like people might be able to listen to interviews better in their cars and stuff, or at home when they're doing stuff. But I don't know. What do you think about that? Like,
we're working on it. I would like to eventually. It's just getting the proper amount of time set aside to learn it, figure it out, and get good enough equipment to properly start one up. And hopefully I want to say maybe by the end of next year, I'd like to have one started up with a couple of episodes out. So, work in progress, but we'll get there.
I guess
eventually.
that works better when you do in-person interviews, so you can make sure that their sound quality is good. Because you don't want it unless the person you're interviewing actually has a good sound setup. Yeah, you want the good audio, I guess, eh?
Oh yeah. For me, good audio, bad audio. As long as I know people can hear what you're saying, and that's the only thing I care about. I just want to make sure that people are getting to know the people behind the music they love.
Right.
And that's really just the end goal here, is just to help fans get more connected to the people making it and to help get Canadian bands out there more in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Yeah. Is that what? If you got to choose your first concert when everything opens back up, who are you going to see?
I like how the tables have turned and you're now interviewing me.
Play it all along, Colin.
Excellent, Graham. Who? That's a very good question. Jesus, got me thinking. Okay, I have it.
Right.
I know they're local, but that's what I'm thinking right now, because I'm pretty sure we're not going to see a whole lot of international bands coming over right as soon as we get the green light. I'd love to see my friends in Invicta again live in concert and have them hopefully play with APOC. What about you?
APOC, yeah, I've seen APOC roll through here a few times. They're really good. Personally, so Opeth and Swallow the Sun. So I was supposed to see both. Opeth I was supposed to see in February before lockdown, and Michael Axel, he had some sort of thing affected. I think it was like I can't remember what he came down with, but they had to cancel a string of shows, including the one I was supposed to go to, and then they were going to come back, and then COVID hit, and Swallow the Sun. I think I missed getting to see Swallow the Sun by like a few weeks before lockdown hit, because I think they were coming through in May, and things started. I think it was the end of April, or maybe it was the end of March. Anyway, yeah, because Opeth, they're tied with Bodom as my all-time favorite band, and I've actually only seen them live once ever, and so I definitely want to check them out. And then Swallow the Sun in, I think it was 2018, 2019. Yeah, I think it was their album 2019. Their latest album, whatever year it came out, that was my favorite album of the year, and I was super stoked to see them live again. So if I had to choose a show, both of them on the same bill, absolute winner for me.
Damn, you picked two good ones. You did.
Yeah.
I can say that. Damn. Nah. Okay. Here's a good question.
Okay.
What song were you most pissed about getting or no, not what song. Jesus. What concert were you most pissed about getting canceled because of COVID?
Because of COVID? So Opeth doesn't count because that wasn't COVID related. Probably the Swallow the Sun one, actually. I was super, really excited to see them. I'm trying to think. It's actually been so long now, I haven't had to think of how many shows we missed. I think that one. I think that was the only, really big one coming up that I was really eager to see. Yeah, kind of keeping on the same boat from the last question, but yeah, I think it was Swallow the Sun. I was really, really amped to see them. Oh, another band I want to group in there is Shadow of Intent. I haven't seen them live yet. That would be a really weird lineup, but yeah. I didn't dig it. But Shadow of Intent are a band. They're one of my favorite modern bands, and yeah, they're one I haven't seen live yet. And I remember they rolled through, I think in January of 2020. I remember like it was kind of, Christmas time and stuff. I remember I was off work and I was like, I'm sure they'll be touring a lot. They're young. I'll wait till I have a little more money. Kicking myself now.
Yeah. For me, it was Unleash the Archers. Because I actually had it planned. It was going to be Unleash the Archers with Crimson Shadows at the Opera House the Monday. And then, oh yeah, it was very exciting. And I was going to interview Unleash the Archers in person. I was very excited. It's going to be a great night. The Monday before, everything started to get locked down.
Yeah.
I find out the Friday, and it's just like, no. And now, my number 2 was Nightwish. I've been a huge Nightwish fan ever since I was in high school, and I'm so pissed I missed them this year, and now that their bassist Marco has left.
Yeah. I'm not a huge Nightwish fan, but I saw that it's been like a really, really big deal that he left. Is he like one of the more central members to the band sound, or?
He's been part of the band since the beginning, and he was like the secondary singer to the band.
Okay.
And yeah, the fans really loved him. It was that's just a hard, 2021 so far has been a shit year for metal.
It's been worse than 2020 in my opinion, but
no, I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
Like first Alexi, then John of Iced, then Nightwish.
And I was never really a huge Iced fan, so I was kind of like,
same.
Oh.
You too. With you on that, it's like I might like one album, but it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but I get it. Yeah, it's like it was like I don't know, like the vocalist of like Rivers of Nile or Black Crown. Then I would have been like, oh no, why?
Yes. Yes.
But it makes it easier when you're not really connected. But yeah, and I remember when Alexi went. I was still getting over Van Halen. I was like, come on.
The world shows no mercy.
No, definitely not. That was one. I at least got to see Bodom live, but Van Halen, I never got to see him live. So that was a huge hit when that happened as well.
Yeah, no, that one just really, I think, surprised everyone. I don't think anyone was really expecting him to pass.
Yeah, I actually didn't realize, because he was, 61, 62 or so? I thought he would be in his 70s. I didn't know how old he was. So at first when I heard he died, I was like, oh, that sucks, but I guess he was getting up here. But then when I looked, I was like, oh, no, he wasn't that old yet. Damn it. But, yeah, it's definitely been a crap show. I think, I hope we all come out a lot more appreciative once society opens back up.
Yeah, well, whenever that may be, I hope.
Yeah. But, do you have any other cool interviews coming up soon, or?
Any cool interviews coming up soon? Like, to be uploaded?
They were total filler, just get one out of the way.
See, but that I don't right now. That's why I made the Facebook post to try and get more interviews booked. It's just, like, I don't have anything right now planned. But I know a couple of bands that are going to be releasing something a bit later into the year, so they will be coming on. But besides that, I'm gonna try and see who all I can get interviews with. I sent an email out to this doom metal band from Denver called Green Druid. They released an album late last year, and it was very good. I liked it, and I sent an email to this murder folk musician named Amigo the Devil to try and get him on, but waiting to see. Besides that, I don't know. Like, I'm gonna try and see if I can get an interview with James Labiere of Dream Theater, just to see. Like, I'll email it, be like, hey, You have time to kill? You want to talk to some fellow Canadian? Just I'll try and book as many interviews as I can with how many bands I can get, whether they be signed or not signed. But I do want to start expanding. The premise is for all Canadian metal bands, but I would love to interview my first Swedish band, my first Finnish band, Norwegian, English. Start expanding and start trying to get more and more unsigned talents to come on the channel.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, it's a good spot, just to try to connect everyone. It's a good platform too that you can just get anyone. But well, I can always I'll definitely tell all the Ottawa metal scene. There's definitely enough bands here that if they're looking to have a good conversation about music, where to send them.
Yes, please do. Because I love a lot of the Ottawa bands. You got some great bands up there. Besides your two, there's Whispers in the Maze, who I love. I think they're great musicians.
A good buddy of mine, Ben, he's the bassist, one of the vocals in the band. He just was on my last YouTube channel. He did the bass solo in Circles of the Sky from Rivers of the Nile. He's in Whispers of the Maze. He's a bassist, vocalist.
Who else is from Ottawa? I forget. Is Mizora from Ottawa or Montreal?
They're technically Montreal. I was actually the live guitarist for Mizora for a little while. I guess I don't know what's happened. I was up until COVID. I know Zach, who's the main guy. That's basically his project. That he basically all of us were just kind of live members. Bass was also Ben from Whispers in the Maze. He was also because Zach used to be in Whispers of the Maze.
Mm-hmm.
And so Ben was doing bass. There's another guy in Ottawa from the band The Affilian. He was the guitarist from Mizora, and I was kind of his backup. And eventually he quit, and I became the main live member. And I think Zach was getting to the point where he had a full Montreal lineup. So we were supposed to do some shows this summer, and that was supposed to be kind of it for us. But now because COVID hit, because we were preparing for shows when COVID hit from Mizora. And so anyway, yeah, they're technically Montreal. He's technically Montreal. I don't know if he has a Montreal lineup yet. But he's Montreal, and I don't know. Have you interviewed Zach yet?
I have. I interviewed him back in 2019.
Okay, yeah. He's
when they released The Door.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
No,
yeah.
No, you go. You were talking before I was. You go.
I lost it. I guess I was just kind of getting into that. Yes, Mizora is technically Montreal, I think, is what we were getting at. But yeah, they were Ottawa. They started in Ottawa. And various Ottawa musicians were in that. And yeah, Ben was in Mizora, Whispers in the Maze. And the drummer that was in Mizora there, he's in Malmindu, and I think he's in some of the hardcore bands around here. But it's a very incestual scene. There's just a web of bands everyone's kind of been in or played for and whatnot.
Okay.
Yeah.
What can you tell me about this one Ottawa band? Damn, that name is difficult because the Y just throws you off. Lycanthroa?
Lycanthro?
Lycanthro, yeah.
Lycanthro, yeah. So that is they're power metal. I'm good buddies. So frontman, lead guitarist is James. He's a good guy. They've been through a few lineups. I was actually talking with him about doing some bass for them here and there because he was going through a lineup change. But yeah, they're good buddies of ours. They've been around for a few years now. They're a power metal band, kind of doing holy priest stuff kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
They actually James he works. I'm not sure if his family owns it or not, but one of the rehearsal spots in Ottawa they run. So anytime we go rehearse there, he's there. But I don't know. We played a lot of shows with them. I remember they won the preliminary round of Bakken Battle Canada in Ottawa one time, and they moved on to Montreal.
Ooh.
But yeah, have you been trying to get in touch with them or?
No, well, I believe James, he commented on the post wanting to do an interview with me, and I'm like, just DM me. I'm still waiting for him to DM, so I just wanted to make sure what I was getting into with that band.
Oh yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah, no, I know James. I'm not sure who else is in the band right now. I know they went through a few guys. I knew James and the other guitarist, but he left recently. So I think James is the only guy I know in that band. But he's kind of like the head of the project or whatever. So he's definitely the guy to talk to with that band. And yeah, I can message him and be like, hey, I'll relay the message for you, make sure he gets back to you.
Great, thank you. I would greatly appreciate that. I do have one more question to ask you about your bands. Can we anticipate something from this year from either or?
Yes, well, hopefully. So, Serene Dark, yeah, we're kind of like, we just released the album coming down. Ominouse, last time we talked, so we released that single, and that was supposed to be part of a 4-track EP, which unfortunately, it's still kind of coming. What our plans are, we wanted to have that EP out by the end of last year, but combination of different people's schedules, lockdown, and this, we haven't been able to get into the studio. We're able to record everything from home except drums. And so basically, hopefully get that EP out this year, but, it's all about, especially Lockdown Part 2, because our drummer, he actually is usually more available in the winter. He's more of a seasonal worker. So our original plan was to hit the studio now while he had a lot more time off, but obviously studios aren't open right now. But what are not definitive, because we're always, day to day trying to think of new things to do, but we have an EP and our third album written, decided, ready to go. So I think what we're trying to do is prep it all, and whenever the time allows, we want to hit the studio and record both, like get the EP and album recorded. That way, like our arsenal is full of finished material that we can plan just releasing and stuff in the future. But it's one thing we definitely want to do. We've been talking this a lot in this interview is because Alexi died with Ominouse specifically. We really want to do a Bodum cover, both live and potentially an actual recorded, like do an actual covered recording with one of our releases, or maybe just release it on its own.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's definitely something, like whenever we hit the stage again, we're definitely gonna be doing that. Other than that, we just have ambition. We don't have anything concrete set, but we know what we want to do, whether it happens this year or not. I guess it's time permitting with COVID and stuff.
Well, here's hoping you are able to get all of that done this year and be able to release either the EP or the album this year, because we look forward to having it and seeing where it could rank on the end of the year awards.
I watched some of that video the other day when we were talking yesterday. Started watching your video with your multiple selves and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I like calling across the room, Beth.
Thank you. Yeah, he was in a good mood that day. No. I'm just happy people have been watching it and do like the end of the year award video. I wasn't sure how it was going to go over.
Well, I really like it. I love seeing other people's top 10s and stuff. That's like, I find how I have a hard time looking up new albums, because I find most sites you either just get like all like the most popular mainstream bands, like it's like, oh, new, like who's really popular right now, like not actually bashing it, but typically you go to sites you're just getting like new Megadeth, new Metallica, new Iron Maiden, like kind of like all the names you already know, you wouldn't need to be told. Or on the other side, you get like a stupid long list of every band that's releasing something, and you don't know where to start or where to choose. So I find I like seeing a lot of people on YouTube and channels that have their top albums of the year, and it's a lot easier just, okay, I'm going to listen to these 10 albums.
Yeah.
And yeah, finding like like-minded case too. I find that's like my favorite. I find my favorite albums of a certain year at the end of the year, and then kind of because whenever I make a top 10 list of a year, I find halfway through the next year, everything I found at the end of that year has like unthrown a lot of things.
Yeah. Yes. No, I completely agree with you there. No, I honestly, I've just given up on Loudwire's top 10 albums of the year because I've gotten so pissed off with them for not naming good albums like the album of the year. Like a couple years ago, I still think Judas Priest's Firepower should have been their album of the year because that was a really solid album.
I'm not even a huge Priest fan, and I remember they came through Ottawa, and I was going to see them live because it was like, okay, this is a band you have to see live. I remember just because usually when bands have been around that long, their new albums are kind of. But I remember throwing that on, and I think I still have the title track in most of my like work here playlists and stuff. Such a banger. But yeah, no, it was like for a band that's been around that so long, like that's a really, really tight album.
Yeah, I think that's what surprised everyone.
Yeah.
Well, no, from
yeah, you're saying they didn't even put that one on the list, or
no, it was, but I was upset it wasn't number one because I felt it did deserve to be number one. I forget what their number one was, but I just got so fed up with their top tens, and it was just
because it was more of a balance of popularity and quality rather than who authentically had the best album.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we try to do here is authentically say, okay, here's who we felt the best album was from our country. And this year it was Neck of the Woods.
Yeah, I think the name sounds familiar. I think they came through. I can't remember if we played that show or not, but I recognize the name from like years ago. So they've been around for a while, I think.
Yeah, and if you haven't heard their latest release, The Yanks of Ire, if you're into like progressive death metal, you'll really enjoy it.
Dude, I said Opeth was the band I want to see the most. Yeah, I'll definitely. Yeah, no, I'll definitely have to check them out. Yeah, so much music, so little time.
Right? Honestly, I checked it the other day because I didn't realize this, but if you go on Spotify through like the internet, like Google Chrome and not through the app, you can actually track what you've been listening to the most so far this year. Yeah. And I've been listening to Majesty's A Christmas Carol album the most this year.
Yeah, I don't use Spotify personally, but I think I use Apple Music, and they usually have this. How I was finding a lot of new music was they did like this playlist that refreshes every week that's specifically for you, and that's been pretty cool. Because I found I would check it. Like I found a lot of like newer bands through that. Like I found Alter Beast through that. I found Alter Beast through that, I guess. All right, one band. Yeah, one band.
One band.
Yeah. There have been like a lot of bands that I would go look up on Facebook and they're like less than 10,000 followers. So they're like smaller bands with really tight music. So I think their algorithm actually worked properly. And then you jokingly put on a pop song one time and it changes the whole algorithm.
Right?
One Miley Cyrus song is worth 1 million metal songs, apparently.
I feel that, but with ABBA.
I'll just don't listen to Miley Cyrus. Just a spoof. Just put on like Party of the USA or something just to mess with someone in the car. Like, oh crap, there goes my algorithm.
Oh, speaking of ABBA, I love ABBA.
Yes.
Like, it's the only band I've gone out of my way because I just got a new vinyl player. It's the only album or record I went out of my way to find on vinyl was ABBA.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, speaking of pop songs, I forget what band did it, but this one band, they covered Madonna's Material Girl. Yeah. But the music...
I can't sing the song, but I'm sure I'd recognize it if I heard it.
No, it's hilarious because they didn't cover the musical part. They just did the lyrics. So it's like this poppy sounding song with like death metal growls singing to you, and it's the most hilarious combination you'll ever hear.
I find it kind of like doing a metal version of pop songs. I find it kind of like overdone. I think it's just because in high school, like because you like metal, everyone just assumes anything that sounds angry you'll like. They'll be like, oh, check out these people who like metal. This Lady Gaga song, but it still sounds like pop, just with gutturals. It's kind of like it doesn't make it good. I actually like when bands take a pop song and then warp it and change it into like something totally different that actually sounds good. Bodum didn't really do it, but they used to like finish every album with some sort of cover, and then it would usually be funny or something. It was usually like a pop song of some sort. They were really good at that. Yeah, I find if you're gonna metalize a pop song, you have to either go for like hilariousness, like not just like or like actually like transform this into a legit metal song. But
yes,
yeah, I personally, as a joke, just to prove that it could be done, I actually made like a thrash metal version of "Bad Guy" by Billie Eilish. Except for that ending section, it's like a total like deathcore breakdown.
Actually, I could see that working as a deathcore song, though.
Well, I remember there was one like Russian deathcore band that did like a really popular one. I remember it was like shared around like Metal Injection and stuff.
Oh, Russia.
We all have a lot more time on our hands now.
Yeah. Yes. Yes, we do. Oh, okay. What is the most randomest piece of merchandise you think either one of your bands will ever come out with?
Come out with? Oh, man. I remember, I don't know if I still have the list. I remember I made like a compilation list of like ridiculous merch I wanted to make.
Yes.
Like, maybe not sincerely, but like just things you would never buy anywhere else. Or things that people would buy because like, I've never seen this at a show. But I got like crazy, like slippers, pajamas, oven mitts, hogs.
Yes.
I remember I made like a compilation list. Like, let's just make stuff like this. I think one that I would actually like seriously consider going through with is like when I'm not working, if I'm just at home, I'm in my pajamas. Like I don't want to wear denim jeans sitting on the couch. So I would love to actually make Ominouse Eclipse or Serene Dark pajamas.
Those would be so sick. Have you thought about maybe even jogging pants for Ominouse Eclipse or Serene Dark?
I don't know about jogging pants, but I know like a lot of bands are doing like they're kind of like those like workout pants. I can't remember like the brand, but like they're kind of like almost like weightlifting or just jogging shorts. I know I've got a few pairs from bands like that because I need workout shorts sometimes. It's like, oh, what's up, Beyond Creation? You got a pair. I'll send them. So those actually seem to be like a really common thing I actually see. Jogging pants I haven't seen. I definitely do that. I like sweatpants. Sweatpants are always nice.
Yes.
But I think like silliest would be oven mitts.
But see, knowing metalheads, I think that would sell so well.
Oh, exactly. I think one that I have, actually, I don't know if I have it nearby. I have a 3 inches of blood scarf.
Ooh.
Scarves are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like the silliest thing I got an Archfire shower curtain.
That's hilarious.
I think those are pretty. I remember when they advertised it. So they sell their merch on the indie store, and I've noticed a few bands have shower curtains there. So I think they've gotten in touch. But yeah, I got the Archfire shower curtain. Pretty funny. Yeah, I think the scarf and the shower curtain are like my more like obscure merch purchases.
I don't have any obscure ones. Actually, no, I have a band from Toronto. They're called My Hollow. I got a frisbee by them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know them. I think I have one of their albums up there. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe. Oh, but those are hilarious ones that I think could sell.
Actually, here in Ottawa, on Gatineau on the other side, Insurrection. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're pretty popular. They've been around for a while. I still have it somewhere. It's like a towel, like a hockey towel, like one of those small like sweat towels. but they clearly I think they just made an iron-on and got them, because there's a dollar store tag at the bottom, so I think they bought a bunch of dollar store towels, just ironed off their logo. I still have that.
I mean, hey, if you can make a couple bucks off of something, why not?
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, no, that's pretty funny. Like, the ideas for merch options are endless, but because everyone has a shirt already.
Yeah. No, exactly. Like, or even you could do oven mitts and kitchen apron combo.
There you go. I remember there was a joke we did for a while. I can't remember if I mentioned this on the last interview, but so like outside of music, I'm my actual job that makes me money. I'm a plumber, and we thought it'd be hilarious if we got endorsements for both musical instruments, and then like that was like, we use these guitars in American Standard toilets. You have that logo engraved on toilets. Go on tour, be a cross-country touring band, also service residential plumbers.
Yeah, that is genius.
That if you show up at the merch table and call me if you have a clogged sink.
You finish playing the gig, you have 10 people asking you to fix their plumbing.
And then we have a place to stay. I think I'm a business genius, Colin.
I think you might be. You're expanding the game of metal.
Yeah.
At least in Canada.
Funny how this started off with a question about merch and how things can progress.
Yes, how it branched off into talking about plumbing and being smart.
And that's what it's like to be inside my brain all day.
Hey! Oh, Jesus. No. Okay. Now, a lot of bands have been doing like gear or even coffee, coming out with their own signature brand for one of those. Which one do you think either one of your bands would come out with? And if so, what would be the name of that?
I remember you asked me a similar question except with beer last time. I coffee.
Did.
So I think we should come out with the Serene Dark roast.
Yes! Yes!
I love dark roast coffee, but yeah. What was it? You said coffee or just branded merchandise and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, Serene Dark roast coffee. That's a pretty easy.
That'd be a good selling point. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah, that's probably pretty easy branding.
Yeah. Or what
I can't think of any other quippy, good titles like that, but
yeah, Serene Dark
I think coffee for sure would be would be interesting. And then maybe Ominouse Eclipse can make one of those mugs that changes with temperature, and it'll be like an actual eclipse of the sun or something on a mug. That'd be cool.
That is genius.
If only I had the money to do stuff like that.
But good.
Yeah.
But you are definitely a man for marketing.
I didn't even think of this until you asked me this question, man. That's right off the top of my head. So.
Believe me, here at Thrashers Paradise, I ask all the most randomest questions about every aspect of metal. But oh, Graham, we've been talking for almost an hour now.
I mean, I got nothing going on today, man. This is my day.
Well, same here. This is my day.
No problem. I'm trying to break the record for longest Thrashers Paradise interview.
Longest Thrashers Paradise interview. You want to break the record?
I mean,
okay.
If we're on route.
Let me actually go on to my YouTube Studio app to figure out what is the current record for the longest YouTube video.
Sure. And while you're doing that, I'll ask you a question then. So who would you say is who is like probably the biggest musician you've gotten to interview so far?
Ooh. Like for Thrashers? Or in general?
For Thrashers, and then in general, because I didn't know if you had another.
Well, because there's the one interview that only has appeared once on our radio show at the Hawk at Mohawk College, and that was a phone interview I did with Kyle Sanders of Hell Yeah.
Oh, right on.
And then for Thrashers, I think personally, even though it hasn't gotten as much love as what I was anticipating of it, I think Warbringer has been the biggest band I've brought on to interview.
Oh, right on. Yeah, they're sick. They're a really
Right?
fun band. Yeah, they're a good thrash band.
Definitely Warbringer. I think next would be either Ex Mortis or Unleash the Archers for a name.
Yeah.
I've had then I can say Lindsay Schoolcraft because she was formerly Cradle of Phil.
We met her because she was working at a bar in Oshawa that we played as Endemise. Back when we were under that name. I remember we met her. That was actually like hilarious because I didn't know who she was and stuff. She was talking to us about music, and we were like, "Oh, are you in a band?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm in Cradle of Phil." We were like, "Oh." It took a few seconds to register in my head, like, because it was like, "Oh, like a tribute, like Cradle of Phil," and then it like hit me like, no, this person's in Cradle of Phil. So I was like, "Whoa." Yeah, she's cool.
She is awesome. No, and I did search it up. I have searched it up. The longest video on Thrashers Paradise is currently 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 42 seconds.
Well, we don't want to stretch ourselves too thin. Maybe the next time we'll try to break that record.
Let's try and break the record, and maybe bring on a few of your bandmates to try and shoot the shit with.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely, I remember because I actually, when you made the post, I wasn't expecting you to, like, I thought you were just trying to plan through the year. So when you were like, "Oh, this weekend," I was like, "Oh, okay." I thought you were just looking for the year. So I would have tried to get some more guys on, but I thought it would be cool just to do an all-round thing, because neither band are super busy right now. Mm-hmm. But hopefully, I definitely like to try to set something up once the world's kind of more open up and shows are actually happening again. We can talk about stuff, but I'll definitely, we can talk a little bit more when we're off air, and I'll definitely throw you some names and stuff and people you'll want to talk to and whatnot.
Yes, please do. And you're more than welcome back on whenever, man. Like,
I would like to be a regular.
Yeah, you can be a regular. Like I told you last time, just shoot me a message whenever you guys are about to release something, or you just want to come on and talk about stuff. Just shoot me a message, and you're more than welcome back on.
Has there been any releases this year you would recommend? I don't think I've checked out any 2021 music yet.
2021 releases up to point. That is a good. Well, this one came out recently. I really liked it. It caught people by surprise. Have you heard of Gatecreeper?
Gatecreeper, I know the name. Are they more of like a death thrash type thing?
Yeah. Yeah, Gatecreeper.
Yeah, I think they've been kind of talked about a fair amount around here.
Yeah,
are they like a bigger like sign band, or are they like a Canadian local smaller thing, or?
They got like 6 over like. They have like over on Spotify. They have like 60,000 listeners. They get played on Sirius XM Liquid Metal. They're like a good up and coming band, and this album is just brilliant. It's 17 minutes long, so it doesn't take up a whole lot of time. But
is it an album?
It's an EP. I would call it an EP.
I was gonna say, because you're kind of more in the grindcore section if your albums are that long.
Yeah, but no, so far into the year that's been pretty good. But I'm looking forward to a band from Calgary to release their album soon called Red Cane.
Okay.
They're a power prog project, and I'm looking forward to their album Kindred Act 2, which comes out January 22nd. So that's very exciting for me. Besides that, I don't really know what else has come out this year so far.
Yeah, I was just listening to kind of. I haven't even looked up. I've heard of a few. Like I know Revocation have a new album on the way. I'm all stoked for that. They always have like they release stuff like extremely regularly. So always stoked to hear that. I just came across a single on Apple Music there, just from that mixed playlist by a band. I might be like bastardizing their pronunciation, but the band's called Stort Reagan. I think they're called. I think they're an American band. I discovered them a few years ago, and I remember their album. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me. It's one of those ones where, like, you know, I was listening to a ton of music. I remember I really liked it, but just not remembering it well. But they had a new single that just came out. They're kind of more of like a black metal kind of in between. Very kind of reminds me a lot of like Skeleton, which I think is a good comparison.
Okay.
They had a new single I just randomly came across listening to the playlist, and I really dug it. So I hadn't really stuck with them. I listened to their one album from a few years back, and then just kind of haven't stayed caught up. But they had a new single, so I'll definitely have to reacquaint myself with their music and stuff, and I'll probably be keeping an eye out for that. It's weird because last year was such a dud. I find that, I mean, not news-wise, I mean just of a year, that I can't really think of like what bands have stuff on the way out this year, but definitely have to look it up.
I know.
I know you have your list out. I think my top Canadian album from last year was Cataclysm. Did you check that one out?
I loved it. I thought it was great. Cataclysms was very solid. Unconquered, really good.
Yeah, it's weird because they're one of those bands that they don't really change it up. They just kind of release their same sound. So you kind of expect not that. Like, I find their band right now that kind of have they're consistent, but they'll have an album that's like, yes, this is their sound, but it's kind of just general for them.
Yeah.
So I remember going into it, I was kind of like, I'll probably just like find this more of the same or whatnot, but I absolutely loved it. It really stuck out. Okay, I think that would be my Canadian album of the year last year.
Yeah, no, that was a very good album. It's very solid. Oh, what else was that? Okay, what's your favorite Cataclysm album?
I haven't fairly listened to their entire discography. It's kind of off the top of my head now, but I find I'll have to listen to all of them to make a fair list. But probably Serenity and Fire. That's kind of one of their classic ones. Production-wise, it doesn't hold up to like some of the stuff they've done. If you compare it to the last few albums, like their production's got a lot better, like especially the vocals. Because I know, like, you know, sometimes when things age in comparison, they'll feel great to you, but like you'll if you're showing it just new to someone nowadays. I remember like a few people I've shown it to now would be like, the vocals aren't as good, and they'll like the newer stuff better. But yeah, for songwriting and stuff, Serenity and Fire is really awesome. The drums are insane on that album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that'd probably be my favorite. But I think if I listened to all of them, my opinions would change. Probably, you know, sometimes you rank an album as your favorite from a band, but it's from nostalgia factor, not what you're actually currently enjoying the most from them.
Yeah. True enough. I don't know. For me, it's
Road. What's your reigning Cataclysm album?
Road to Devastation. That was the first album I listened to from Cataclysm, and it was, for me personally, I think it was the best way to introduce someone to Cataclysm.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, there's bands' best albums, and the best one to listen to first.
Yeah.
The most approachable, yes. Yeah, for me, I find I actually don't listen to a lot of bands. I used to always look up like what the best rated album of a band is if I want to get into them. But I find, like I said, sometimes if it's older production, maybe it was really good at the time, but from nostalgia, everyone's rating it. So I find nowadays I mostly just listen to like what's coming out newest. Because even if it's not their best album, it should still be a representation of the band with today's production.
Yeah.
Like, for example, I mentioned that the God to Throne album last year was one of my favorite. I think that's about in my top 3. And from reviews I looked up, it seemed like most of the fan base is like, yeah, this is an average album for them. But because it's my first album and it was their sound with today's production, it probably sounded a lot better to me. So yeah, I do find I don't even like end up listening to bands back catalog. So when I got into Cataclysm, it was Serenity and Fire and In Shadows and Dust were the two albums I heard, and that made me dig it. But I didn't feel the need to listen to everything. I think around that time they were releasing whatever album they put out in like 2012 and 2013. It had the song like Animals and Elevate. Can't remember the name of the album.
Black Sheep? No, that was the song.
No, that was on Ghost. Black Sheep was on Of Gods and Ghosts, I think it was called. The one that came after that. That was 2014, 2015.
Okay.
The album that came out right before that album, though. That's like kind of when I got into Cataclysm, so I was listening to that and what was new. Didn't really go into the whole back catalog. But, yeah.
Yeah. No, because we keep bringing them up every now and then, I'm actually really looking forward to the next Rivers of Nile album. I think it's going to be good.
Yeah, I've actually, cool. I just finished filming another Rivers of Nile cover today before I did Sand Baptism today.
Oh, nice.
I'll be releasing that probably next weekend because I'm doing the vocals as well. My voice wasn't working well with me today, so I got the guitar done, and I'm going to do the vocals probably next weekend. But I laughed because my YouTube setup, I set up on my desk. Normally, my camera's over here and shooting this way, and I usually set up like the album. So I actually got like all their albums just sitting beside me right now on the little easels there. So yeah, Rivers of Nile are definitely probably up there. It's one of my favorite like modern bands. I remember like Where Owls Know My Name was like the album of the year. I remember for most people.
Yes.
Yeah, were you big on that album too, or?
Oh, I love Where Owls Know Your Name. That is such a strong album. Even when you start off the album with like Silent Life, like you know you're in for a good album.
Yeah, I actually I remember I got their previous album Monarchy back when HMV still existed. I would usually like get a few impulse buys, and that was an impulse buy. I was like, okay, this looks cool. Let's listen to it. And I remember when I first listened to it, it felt very mediocre by today's standards. Mm-hmm. But for some reason, I kept going back to it. I remember like Sand Baptism and Circles in the Sky. I was like, the rest of it's kind of, and now that I've like really gotten into the band, I actually love the whole album. But at first, I was kind of like, this kind of feels more general. But I remember just being like, I feel like this band's next album is going to be something huge, though. I just had that instinct when I heard that, and well, now they're on the map, right? Because most people didn't really know who they were yet before that album. But one thing I want to do with my YouTube channel is eventually I want to do some full albums, like not in one video, but like actually, chronologically release every song on the album. And Where Owls Know My Name is definitely on that list. I don't know when I'll do it, but I'm definitely going to cover the crap out of that album.
Now, for Rivers of Nile, is it going to be hard to top Where Owls Know My Name, or do you think they can top it?
I think they can. I don't think anyone will. I don't think it'll be received that way ever. Kind of one of those things that it's so good, like you're never going to have the whole audience go, yes, they improved. I think it was just such a monumental thing that people are just going to be like, no, they peaked, regardless if it is or not. It's just one of those things, you know. It's just kind of, when you hit it's kind of like, is Opeth ever going to top Blackwater Park? It's like, even if they arguably did, no one's ever going to actually be like, yes, this is better. Just not from a crowd perspective. I think they can, for sure. I think what made it great is it just the fact they had the Andy from Black Crown Initiate, because Black Crown and Rivers of Nile are two of my favorite modern bands. And the fact they were kind of almost together on this in some ways is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was like words can't describe how great the album truly is. I think that's what makes it a truly great album, is that when you get lost in your own words and thoughts just trying to find the perfect ways to describe an album, I think that's when you know you've created a very solid album.
One song, I saw them live several times when they were touring this album, because they came through. I think I saw them in Ottawa twice. Actually, before I get too sidetracked, probably the most blown away I got to be for being on a set of a show was we got to open for them when they came through. and they were touring with Alter Beast and Inferi, and all three of them had just dropped albums that year. Rivers of Nile had Where Owls Know My Name, Alter Beast had Feast, and I can't remember the name of Inferi's. Resonance. Got a poster on the wall there. And all three of those albums had been out and were like on my like top 10 of that year. And then I found out we were opening for that bill. I was like, no way. And I remember the Lord was like, have you heard of any of these bands? I was like, have I? But yeah, so I saw them live then. They came back through again with Revocation. That was amazing. And then I saw them in Montreal. And I was really bummed they never played Subtle Change, because I think that was my favorite song on that album. And I don't know, I was kind of bummed they didn't play that one live.
Well, hopefully, maybe next time when they come around, they can be able to play it.
Yeah, maybe they'll see this interview and they'll be like, damn, we need to play Subtle Change for this guy.
We'll specifically just cut this out for Instagram just to upload it and tag Rivers and Nile so they understand the disappointment.
And then I'll release the cover next week, and they'll know. Yeah. Yes, but I'm definitely with you there that, yeah, I'm definitely super excited what's going to come next. And it's weird how sometimes, even if they do release something better, for some reason it just doesn't click. A good example of this was Carnifex. They released Die Without Hope, followed by, what was the album that came right after that? Slow Death. Mm-hmm. And those two albums were like, blew me away. And I remember the next album they released after that, World War
X?
It was World War X or something. But I remember just being like, they kind of peaked at those two albums. Now they're become mediocre. But then, like, whenever like my phone was on shuffle and then a random song would come up, that I was like, oh, this is awesome. Who's this? So it's kind of weird how you almost just, once a band does something so great, even if something comes out better, for some reason it tunes it out and just convinces you it's not at first. But then you realize, no, it's just good. It's just kind of overload type thing.
Yeah, no. No. Yeah. No. For last year, for some reason, I don't know, but I really started like expanding into like more of the odder genres. Like more, I was getting into more doom, more stoner, and all that. And one of the top bands I really did get into from that was Baroness. I don't know if you've heard of them.
My brother, that's like one of his favorite bands. He's a huge Baroness fan. He's always pushing them on me, and I'm sure I'd love them, but I don't know. I just haven't really given them the time of day. But yes, I know like of those genres, if you get into it, like that's the band to listen to, pretty much. Mm-hmm. I think you said it's like the Purple album or something. It's like one of the best ones. I'm not sure though.
I haven't gotten to the Purple album yet. I've heard Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, or Yellow and Green, Gold and Gray. I haven't heard Purple yet. I guess I'm waiting for Decoys or whatever to come out next. Whatever color of the spectrum they pick from next. But this year, right off the bat, I've been just listening to like old school death metal bands like Obituary, Morbid Angel, even like old black metal like Venom, Immortal, just getting into the heavier stuff this year. So it's just like, what the hell? As soon as the new year changed, I want black metal.
Yeah, and that's it too. Like it all depends what you're kind of craving. Like if you're kind of in, like say you're like really into deathcore at one point, you kind of like drop off, and then like one of the bands released an absolute banger, and then you're just not feeling that right now. And yeah, it all can be reflected on like what you're kind of wanting at the time. Yeah, I think I'm starting to get more into kind of slower stuff. Like when I like Swallow the Sun album that much, that's like arguably one of the slowest albums I've ever listened to. Like I don't think anything goes above 100 beats per minute on it, but I don't know. It's hard to say. I think, I definitely have to like sit down and look at what's coming out this year.
Yeah.
Need a good mix.
I think Exodus is coming out with something this year. I'm not sure, but I'm looking forward to that because that should be good.
One band I'd like to see return, I don't know if they'll ever will, was All Shall Perish. I know their vocalist went and joined Suicide Silence, but they, I thought they were like one of like a really good kind of like modern like just deathcore band, and they had some absolute monster guitar shreds.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I'd like to see them return to the frame at some point.
I don't know who I'd love to see return. There are so many bands I'd love to say I want them to return, but I don't really know who to say.
Yeah. I mean, most of the bands that I want to return is because someone's dead, and so that's not going to happen. But
like for me, the only one I could think of is Strapping Young Lad. I'd love for them to return, and I am happy that Devin is bringing back strapping songs into his arsenal to play. So I don't know if that might lead to something come end of 2029, but if I could just see Gene, you never know. He's always up to something.
Yeah, he's actually one guy I really like. I feel like I should like more than I do. I couldn't really ever get into strapping young lad for some reason, but I think I think I need to go back. It's been a while since I even attempted to what's their really big album?
There's Alien, there's City, and there's SYL.
City, yeah. I remember City was considered the album to listen to, and I don't know, it didn't really click with me, but mind you, that was a while ago since I tried. I find I hear stuff now, and I like everything for different reasons and stuff, and you're almost your interest will change so much. I think that's the band I have to try again. I definitely got into actual just Devin Townsend project. I mean, Ziltoid's a really fun album and whatnot. Yeah, I know Critopsy do an absolute monster cover of their song of Strapling, "Oh My Fucking God." Yeah, they did an absolute banger cover of that. I think I'll have to check it out. Did you ever listen to Zimmer's Hole? I'm pretty sure it was some of when Devin moved on from Strapling and Lad. I can't remember. I might be remembering this wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was the other members of Strapping and Lad that started Zimmer's Hole. Did you ever check them out?
No, I never even knew of that.
I'll send you a link after. They existed for one album, and I think it was almost like a spoof of heavy metal. It was spoofing popular heavy metal stuff. The album was called "While You Were Shouting at the Devil, We Were in League with Satan." But it's a hilarious album that's also really, really good. I could be completely misquoting or missing it, but I'm pretty sure it was people who were doing Strapping Young Lad. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Strapping Young Lad with Devin. I think they started that. And yeah, it's just the one album, but it's such a random hidden gem that no one seems to remember.
That is awesome. I would definitely love to hear that. That would probably be hilarious. No, what's gotten me up this year, or what's really surprised me this year? I don't know why, but so far it's been 2 Italian metal bands I really like changed their sound just out of the blue.
Who's that, sorry? The audio glitched for a second there.
Oh,
so
sorry.
You said 2 Italian bands, but no.
Yeah, no. So I was big into Ultraviolence. I don't know if you heard of them. They're
okay. I've heard of them, but haven't listened to them. Yeah.
They were a very solid thrash band. Some could say at the top of the thrash world, and now they just changed to metalcore. Kind of Lost Society.
Okay.
So it's just oh, you've done this to me. Okay. I understand. And then my favorite comedic metal band, Nail War of Steel, have decided we're going to go pop. And it's just what the hell? And I'm just hoping Graveworm, one of my favorite death metal bands, doesn't change on me.
Yeah. I respect when a band does, even if I don't like it, I always respect a band for doing that. Yeah. A lot of people have been complaining about Opeth, that they don't return to their roots. It's yes, I would love to hear Opeth do death metal again, but Jesus Christ, you got from Still Life to Watershed, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, you got 6 or 7 albums of that style of them perfected. Even if they don't ever do it again, you have a awesome catalog of it. So let them do what they want. I guess it would be kind of crappy if like they decided to retire doing any of that stuff live. That would be a bummer. But like they're still doing it live, so even if they don't release anything, go listen to it. And say I respect it. I respect it when bands do it, and even if it's like terrible, I always go, I just don't listen to that. You guys have made other stuff. You do this. I'm never gonna do like the same genre for the rest of my life. I kind of find I'm just jumping like on one album. I'm jumping all over the genres rather than doing this. It's like, all right, death metal songs, we got black metal songs.
Yeah, just no. How do you feel about Sorceress?
The album by Opeth? Yeah, for them it was like Sorceress. That was when it first came out. I considered that to be my favorite of their newer style. I think that was just because I don't know why I felt that way, but I think their latest one is probably my favorite. They're kind of more progress. The track itself, Sorceress, absolutely rips. I love that song. I don't listen to their newer stuff. Like I wouldn't even be able to like think of how any of the other songs go on that album because I typically listen to it a few times when it comes out, and then it's back to still life for me.
Yeah.
But Sorceress was good. I remember, but obviously not enough to stick with me. But yeah, I thought it was good. I don't know why. Was that one of your more favorite of the newer ones, or?
Honestly, not like. So I do agree. Sorceress, the song was good, but I didn't really care for much the album. I just thought it was too like soft for my taste.
Yeah.
But with the last release they did, I didn't. I found. Yeah, I think it was very good, but I don't know why, but I don't like the English version. I love the Swedish version.
Oh, well, that's considered the authentic one. Yeah. And yeah, I listen to the Swedish one exclusively. Yeah.
I never thought I would be in love with an Opeth album sung in Swedish so much as what the last album was.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really excited to actually see some of that album live whenever they come through.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that'll be now. But yeah, no, that was a really good album. One of their newer ones, because most people consider of their newer era, they like think Heritage is the weakest because it was kind of like a transitional period, so it wasn't quite there. I actually thought that one was one of the better ones, and everyone seems to consider Pale Communion their best of their newer style. And I don't know, I found that one like really boring personally. It's got like I remember like Voice of Treason, but most of it is just I don't know. I found it kind of more, I guess, how you consider Sorceress. It was kind of soft boring. I don't know. It's weird, but it's still like damn impressive music though when I hear it.
Oh, of course, Opeth will forever create amazing music, whether we like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we're at the hour and 23 mark at this interview. Do you want to go for the record?
I mean, I don't want to force it. You know, I want your content to still stay like interesting, not like drag. I don't want to bore your viewers, but like, I don't know, like whenever you want to wrap this up for sure. If you don't have any other questions and stuff, but I don't know. I'm very much enjoying this conversation. I love talking music and stuff.
I know. I am enjoying the conversation too. Like, I don't even care about the time. I think we're having a good enough conversation that the people here on YouTube are enjoying it because they're getting to hear both of our opinions about like metal music in general, and to carry off of that for you personally, what for you is your favorite metal subgenre and your least favorite metal subgenre?
This is actually funny because before the interview, I was trying to like preemptively think of questions that might get asked so I can like preemptively think of answers, and that was one of them. And so I had a little bit of mental preparation because normally I'd sit here going, huh. So I actually did. So I think my favorite subgenre overall would probably be melodic death metal. I mean, and I'm talking Children of Bodom, Opeth stuff. But at the same time, it's kind of my least favorite because I find it's where you get some of those bland music, kind of like when it's at its best, it's my favorite, but it also has probably the most mediocrity to me. Like I don't like down talking bands, but like when it comes to like some of Arch Enemy and I love both these bands, but some of Arch Enemy and Inflamed stuff is kind of like this just bland. It almost feels like if you took pop structures of verse chorus with just these regular riffs and stuff. I find like a lot of it falls under melodic death metal. It's almost like older power metal bands, like Priest and stuff that kind of stay to like general song structure and stuff. I find any metal like that I don't like as much, but I might love it as well if it's hooky enough. But yeah, I'd say melodic death metal, when it's at its best, is my favorite subgenre, while it also has the most mediocrity in it for me as well. Least favorite, I guess it's kind of hard to say because I don't really dislike any. I wouldn't even say metalcore because metalcore has some of like catchiest hooks, just a lot of like just kind of like that clean vocal style. It's almost like the metal version of like kind of emo band type thing sometimes.
Yes.
And and I found I didn't like that. I find like when you get older and kind of like lose that little, like we all kind of go through an elitist phase and some of us come out of it. I find there's a lot of bands in that genre now that it's not like, oh, I like now. It's just kind of like, I don't like this vocal style, but I'm not letting it ruin the rest of the awesome music. Like, it doesn't like turn me off to, oh, I don't want to listen to this. I kind of just don't hear it almost, and I'm just hearing whatever sweet riffs they've got going on. Because metalcore, they got some cool patterns and stuff going on with the guitars and stuff for sure. Least favorite metal song. Are we talking metal specifically or just music in general?
We can do music in general.
Once again, I don't know. It's kind of hard. Like, obviously, I don't really like pop, but I think I would have to actually really listen to pop exclusively. I'm sure there's some people out there who like just make things that are technically pop that probably still sound good. Because for me, like kind of pop music, it's not even like that. It's bouncy and happy and mainstream. It's just lyrics. Like it's just like I don't care about parties. Like if you had someone who kind of, if you took like your average like Katy Perry, Lady Gaga song structure, but they had like really good meaningful lyrics, I'd probably dig it, you know. But if you're just thinking about like sassy romance stuff, I'm just gonna, you know, not really be interested. Metal specifically, I guess anything that's like too noisy and too grindcore, but even so, there's stuff in the grindcore genre that I like. But I guess anything that's just too obnoxious.
Yeah.
I guess I'd throw there. It's hard, and I guess I'm just too positive. I don't like to down talk anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna say I think any genre has potential to be good.
Yeah.
So the ones I seem to listen to the least are probably like stuff that's like super noisy, and then for like, but I think that's kind of not fair because it's kind of meant to be that way. Maybe for things that are actually, I guess I don't listen to a whole lot of like stoner metal or just like old school power metal. But yeah, I guess that's where I'm gonna be at with that question.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd say melodic death metal and technical death metal at their peak are probably my favorites.
Mm-hmm.
Combined, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I don't know, what about you? What are...
I'll do least favorite first. I'm not really huge into noise metal. Or, no, drone metal. Drone.
Oh, like not I guess?
Yeah, I'm not... I can't... I've listened to it. I have given it a try. It's just, I can't really get behind it. It's not my cup of tea.
No.
Favorite, though... That's so tricky because... even drum, I love all the metal subgenres. Like, there's so many great bands from each subgenre to pick a handful of. Not metal. I mean, not Nintendo Core, because I think there's only one popular Nintendo Core band. Power Glove.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they're interesting. And that's more like a theme than the actual genre. It's kind of like how people say Ominouse is Viking metal, but it's mellow dance with Viking themes. Yeah. So there's a fine line between the theme and the actual sound itself.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, continue on to your favorite.
Honestly, I think it's either thrash or death. Just those two genres. And the popularity of it does play a factor into it because those are really the two most popular genres I would say occur in not only the local scene, but of bands that do seem to come over to Toronto or Ottawa. So
I mean, your show is called Thrashers Paradise, so I guess it was pretty implied.
Yeah, but I do say a close second though is power metal. Like I can't not disregard bands like Stradivarius, Freedom Call, or even Hammerfall. Even though just those three, for example, are phenomenal power metal bands, and there are just so many more that come with it.
Yeah. Right.
Oh.
What do you think about 3 Inches of Blood? They're kind of like a more modern kind of.
I love 3 Inches of Blood. They are so good. I am so pissed that I got into metal late, and that I wasn't able to see 3 Inches of Blood live, because I think they would have had one hell of a soul.
That's always going to happen. There's going to be a new string of metal fans who are going to be sad that they never got to see Bodom live, because that just happened. I mean, I was just getting into metal after Dimebag Darrell died, so I never did get to see Pantera live or Death live. But so no matter what, you're gonna have those bands, right?
Yeah.
At least with 3 Inches of Blood, I don't know if they ever will, but they haven't broken up because of a death or something like that. They could at some point reunite. It's not out of the question. I doubt it will happen, but it's possible.
Yeah. No, and I find that with a lot of the popular Vancouver bands from Canada, I don't know why, but Vancouver has once they get a band that's really good and popular, they blow up, and then for some reason they just disband.
What are some other examples? I can think of 3 Inches of Blood.
The other one
they stayed around for a good. They did 4 albums. They were around for a solid period.
The other one I was talking about was Strapping, Young Lad. They did 5.
Oh, they're from Vancouver. I knew Devin was Canadian, but I didn't know they were Vancouver. Okay.
Yeah, and I guess now the Devin Townsend project.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but Devin's still around. He'd always be doing that stuff. And
Devin will forever be Devi, and Devin heavy metal is my favorite music.
Yeah, I definitely need to give him more listening for sure. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I didn't realize they're Vancouver. That's pretty cool. I actually haven't seen him live yet. I saw he played Heavy Montreal. I can't remember when he played there, but he was just doing an acoustic set.
Oh, that was 2019.
What was that?
That was 2019.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I remember he was doing an acoustic set. I think I caught his first song. I think someone was playing at the same time as him. And because he was just doing an acoustic set, I decided to go check out. I think I went to the stage, watched him, and then I knew the other band was going on, so I ran off. So I can't remember who, but yeah, I still haven't actually. I want to see him full band and stuff at some point. That sounds like it's a must see.
Yeah, I was so pissed because I kept putting off buying tickets to see Devin Townsend just so I could save my money. And then when I finally went to purchasing tickets to see him back in February 2020, sold out. Damn it! No!
Oh, yes, because I was planning on doing that too. I totally forgot that even happened. But, yeah, I remember I ran into a similar issue because they were playing Montreal on a Friday or something. And because he's not one of my favorite musicians, I didn't think, I need to get tickets immediately. And I remember they added a second day, but it was on a Wednesday or something. It was I'm not the type to take off work just to go to a concert type thing.
Yeah.
Unless it's local. But yeah. Feels like a lifetime ago.
Doesn't it though?
Back when concerts were allowed.
That's crazy now to think that we don't have live concerts anymore.
Yeah. And then they'll start up again, and everyone will have their excuses why they can't come out. And we'll be right back.
It'll be right back to normal, maybe a couple of months after the shows are back to full swing.
I think it's honestly gonna be hard because I think everyone's gonna want to go back out so immediately that there's just gonna be an instant oversaturation of shows, and people, as much as people are gonna the just general concert goers are probably make, oh yeah, I really want to go to a show again. Let's choose. They're not gonna be like wanting to go to all of them, obviously.
Yeah.
I remember there's been a lot of talk in the scene that people wanted to be like booking shows as soon as the world came back, be one of the first. Like, I'm gonna wait for a good one. I'm not gonna like just go play an all local show because I feel like it's gonna be empty. I'm gonna wait for like someone to be coming through town that everyone wants to see. I remember, because normally we have our promoters here in Ottawa are really good at getting local bands opening for bigger bands. I've got my shrine of bands I've opened for over there in the corner. And I remember we didn't really have so much lined up, so I don't know what's going to happen. I know a lot of bands who are going to open for someone huge. It's getting rescheduled for when they come back. For us, we were supposed to play with Wilder Run, and I can't remember the name of the other band. So we didn't have anything like crazy come out. Wilder Run, I don't know if you checked them out. They're actually like very much like old school Opeth. I remember a reviewer I watched on YouTube. He's retired now. He quit doing the YouTube thing, but he named their album whatever year it came out as his album of the year. So I checked it out. I remember it was really good, and then we were asked to open for them. And I was really pumped for that. I don't know if that tour will get rescheduled for when the world opens up, but yeah, I'm really hopeful. It feels weird having even talked to the promoters in Ottawa for so long.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, Graham, I don't know what else to talk to you about.
Yeah, I think we covered like the whole spectrum of subjects here in the metal, but yeah, I think that's a good spot to leave off.
I think it is too. Graham, thank you so much for joining me here once again on Thrashers Paradise just to hang out and talk for a bit. Is there anything else you want to say to the viewers at home watching this?
Wash your hands. No, I would, if I can, I'll just do a little self-promotion here. Thanks for checking out this episode. Be sure to subscribe to Thrashers Paradise to see more of these fun conversations. Please check out my bands. I'm in Ominouse Eclipse. I'm in Serene Dark. And I've also got a YouTube channel. Just go ahead and look up my name. I'll probably pop up. If not, I don't know. We'll link it or something.
Yeah, it'll be in the description box down below where you can subscribe to him and go to Ominouse Eclipse's Bandcamp as well as Serene Dark's Bandcamp and their social media so you can show them some love because Ottawa metal is very good and they are definitely two of the top local bands there. So definitely give them some love. And until next time, everyone, I guess, keep on thrashing.